I love printing. I love printing. I love it. I love printing. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another session, podcast, interview, call it what you want, with me, Warren Werbitt, for What They Think. Today, I'm not even going to say special guests, but they're only special guests when they come to see me. I have Advertisers Printing. Did I get the name right?
Got it.
Awesome. So I've got Alex Fechner and John Heaney. Welcome, boys.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us, Warren.
I'll just start off by mentioning we've all been in print a long time. We all had afros when we started, and look what happens when you love print and you stick with it. You just get a little shiny.
That's right.
So today's session is going to be on sustainability. Good, bad, ugly. What's the deal? We're just going to talk about different things and how did it come about. I did a post on LinkedIn a couple of weeks ago on sustainability and the cost of it and people losing jobs because, they were more expensive than the guy or girl who didn't do anything about sustainability. And I just thought it was wrong. But I started getting calls from people, which, by the way, more people call me more often. I like it. But I started getting calls with real concerns. And Alex reached out to me and he was just shaking his head. And he's just saying, man, right on, brother. You got it right. You're speaking the language and you're, preaching the truth. And I said, what up with that? And he went on to say how they are probably one of the most up-to-date current printers, managing and watching sustainability, constantly improving things as they go. But the bigger thing that he said to me was, we lose work to other printers that are cheaper than us that say they're into sustainability, and then they go with someone who does nothing. And that, by the way, just sends me off of the deep end because it's wrong. And I even had on my post a couple other printers, one person from Simpress, actually, who I have to reply to, but he was talking about there should be no cost to sustainability and all that. And I don't know what planet he's living on, but we're going to talk about some of that stuff right now. First, I'm going to give Alex a moment to tell us a little bit about Advertisers Printing, which your great grandfather came up with that name, I believe.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about you guys.
Well, thank you very much for having us on, Warren. And yes, Advertisers Printing, founded in 1923 by my great-grandfather, Claude Fechner. 100-year anniversary was last year, so 101 plus years in business as of today.
Sorry, I missed it.
We'll get you there for 125. We'll have less hair. And Advertisers specializes in direct mail, print marketing materials, paperboard packaging, promotional items, swag, and then wide format and signage.
Is there anything you don't do?
We do a little bit of everything. And, some will say, try not to be everything to everybody, but that's how we've lasted for 100 years. And our customers and partners keep us going. And we're just trying to do things right, which why we went down the sustainability path. What was it, 20, 25 years ago, John?
About 22.
Okay.
That was before if I think back without dating us, that's like when you had the logo that was recyclable or recycled, and nobody to this day has figured out which is which.
Yeah.
Right.
They just kind of slap it on there. So before we get into it, I will tell you, I am so happy when I hear you say all the different, areas that you work in, from the promo and the print and the books, the digital, large format, because I had started doing that when I had my shop. And my idea, probably similar to yours, is when you go to a really good customer and you could manage their brand across all these substrates, it actually makes it easier for them. And if they do the math, it's less expensive than going to 5 suppliers. If they do that, they don't even ask the supplier that's handling the hardest substrate to do the color first.
Yep.
And everyone does it their own. And then they get to showtime and they're all freaked out because nothing matches.
Yes, sir.
That was the main reason I went in to do it all, was to make it one-stop shop for the client to save time and energy. Unfortunately, and you could correct me if I'm wrong, not all clients look at it that way.
No.
Right? Because they're they're to the pennies, not the dollars and the pounds. That being said, why don't you tell us a little bit about some of the concerns that you have with what you do at the levels of sustainability versus your competitors and what happens with some customers?
One thing I'd like to say is that we realize that sustainability is very important, and one of the things John said that we say around here is there is no planet B, and we've always tried to do right by our customers and Earth, and if we can make things renewable, we want to. So we went down this journey, thinking that based on everything you see in the media and hear on the news, that sustainability is a good thing. And it has been a good thing for us, and we're having great conversations. But just like your post said, very often we get to the 1 yard line with a lot of these big opportunities we've got, and it on these companies' website, we are sustainable. They've got a page on sustainability. They've got interviews on sustainability, and we send the bid, and then all of a sudden they're not sustainable anymore. It's you're not competitively priced. We're going to go with this printer, and printer X, if we find out who it is, has nothing on any sort of sustainable activity, practices, posts, anything like that. And we're just kind of scratching our head saying, there seems to be a lot of, people talking the talk, but how many are actually walking the walk? And that situation is more often than not, I'm sad to say.
So I have a question. First of all, do you want to call out any of those customers here? I'll give you an opportunity. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. I'm just trying to be funny.
Yeah.
But so you have the corporate websites that you deal with those companies that talk about sustainability, and then the buyer squishes you because you're a little more. How old is the buyer in general first?
As far as age is concerned?
Yeah.
We've seen it all over the board. I'm 38. I've seen people around my age and younger squashing it. But typically, with someone who has a title of print buyer or procurement, they usually are a little bit older, 40s and 50s, I would say. And John, you feel free to chime in there if you have any different opinion.
Yeah, I think it depends, on the three categories that are the three buckets of clients that we have. B2B would be one, academia, universities and private schools and public schools. And then lastly is the cultural institutions. So what you see is cultural institutions and academic institutions, they favor, and they do tend to try to walk the walk. B2B, a little more sketch, depending if it's publicly held or small, medium, mid-cap business. So age-wise, probably has less to do as a barometer than the top-down mantra from in a B2B environment. So what does the top? What are they pushing? And so the outdoor rec market is all over. The clothiers are all over sustainability, but B2B industrial, not so much. B2C, very, very attuned because they're getting tremendous feedback from the customer, the consumer-based companies that we would deal with. But B2B, it varies widely.
So my next question would be, have you or anybody gone above the purchasers to speak to the CEOs, the presidents, or the top people to discuss their mission statement on their website and then the way they act in the corporate world?
Yeah, I have. And
tell me, I want to hear.
It's so in one instance in particular.
But you have to use names because they're never going to learn if we don't call them out. No, I'm just kidding.
In one item in particular, we have a company that we align with as far as core values and sustainability is concerned, and we're told we're getting a shot at every single bid, and we know that's not true. We're getting stuff in the mail. We're getting stuff from the mail that we didn't print, and they're saying, "No, you guys are bidding everything." Well, why aren't we winning more of these projects? Well, because you weren't competitive enough. We're like, well, hold on a second. You reached out to us because we're sustainable, and number one, we didn't even get the opportunity to bid the project. Number two, we wouldn't even have a chance to rebuttal to talk about budget to see, hey, let's meet in the middle. Let's make sure this works. You get a sustainable job printed. You support your sustainability by working with a sustainable printer, and you get to save a little money. We don't even have the opportunity for that discussion.
Well, first of all, if I got something in the mail and we didn't quote it, I'd put it in an envelope, send it back to the person with a note sticky that says, we never quoted this. but I got it at home. Right?
Yeah.
That's number one.
Haven't tried that one yet, but I might.
Yeah, well, you know what? As long as you're not disrespectful, open, and honest, there's no reason you can't.
No,
right?
exactly.
I mean, because if we're all going to be honest, you're trying really hard. I want to touch on one thing first for people that are listening. Even the guy out in Europe who wrote that note. So in our discussion before, you guys are SGP certified.
Correct.
Or SPG or whatever. I'm dyslexic.
SGP, you got it.
Okay, got it right. Good. Always shocked when I get it right. You've got something like 3 million solar panels on your roof. Oh no, you have 101. Sorry. You have 101 solar panels. All the inks you're buying, the chemicals you're buying, the washes that you're doing. You've basically gone through the full audit. What does it cost over time or a year to FSC certification, another ripoff scam in our industry? But anyways, we'll deal with that one later. But what do you spend a year, do you think, annually on being sustainable?
Tens of thousands of dollars, but John can speak to that more.
Yeah, for sure. And the initial cost of becoming certified is one sort of startup to become certified, and then the maintenance of that certification. I marvel at our competitors who just simply become FSC certified and want to brag about the way they're sourcing material, which is not even sort of the lowest bar of sustainability, and really doing nothing about from stem to stern. What are you doing internally? What are your processes? How are you leaning them out? And what sort of emissions are coming off your building? So SGP is holistic. They look at the whole behavior of your company, materials brought in, the amount of sort of emissions generated, the solid waste generated. So it measures all these benchmarks. And so certifications, as you very satirically pointed jabs at, for sure, we definitely there's no ambiguity with you, Warren.
No, that's right. I'll tell you why. Because all the paper is certified prior to it getting to the printer.
That's right.
It's out of the forest. It's on the tree. It's taken down. It's at the mill. It's boxed. By the time it gets to the printer, right? What are they worried about? FSC's worried that we're going to mix up the paper with another job. They're absolutely crazy out of their mind because we don't do that, or the jobs are coming back. Not to mention most of the paper we buy is FSC. But they charge us $4,000 for people who don't want to put a logo anymore because it's so ugly and doesn't need it, and it's just become every day.
Sure.
It drives me up a wall. Sorry, that was my little infomercial.
We hear that argument from not only our peers in the business, but from clients, and really we continue to support it because it is the holistic approach of all of the above. Yeah, but we see SGP as most meaningful.
Everybody, and the truth is, you guys want to do the right thing.
That's right.
But those others make it not as real because
that's
like
right.
FSC, if you have 5 plants, FSC will certify 1 plant a year, and then they'll give you blanket coverage for all 4.
Sure.
So where's the equal playing field for everybody? If you're 5 franchises, they'll give you a special price. I paid $4,000 a year because I did 4 FSC jobs, and the girl would sit there all day. I sit with her. I don't even know what she was doing to analyze the 4 documents.
Yeah. But we do find SGP to be a pretty meaningful because it focuses on behavior. It focuses on processes. It is the fully holistic approach internally. If you're not measuring, you definitely aren't managing, obviously, and you have no way of validating what you're saying to people. So we find great value in SGP.
The thing I like about SPG is it's tangible, right? They come in and the processes you're doing, you're following, you're moving, it's all there. The FSC, and if FSC is listening, I don't mean to rag on you too much, maybe a little, because there's big money being made on our fees. But the SPG is all
SGP. Yes.
SPG. I told you I mix up the letters.
You got it.
But there's accountability in there.
Sure.
Right. Every week, every month, unlike the other stuff,
Correct.
So it gives you. So have you ever done any marketing in terms of putting out numbers that you've invested and done for people to see, to know what's involved or what you've done?
We've done some, some educational outreach on there, but we are in the process of building, some sort of, sustainability calculator to where if you print a job with us over a non-sustainable machine or a non-sustainable facility, we're hoping we'll be able to show how much they'd save in waste, electricity, paper, make ready, ink, things of that nature. We've been working on that for a while now. And once we have a better grasp on that, that will be a heavy point of marketing for us.
Okay, because I think, somewhere along the way, even on the website, you could have your sustainable page and, just yearly what you're investing, because
Sure.
everyone should know. And if some of your customers actually knew what you did,
Sure.
it might make it a little bit easier to sell them or for them to understand. Or you have perhaps a sustainable day, and every other day you invite a different customer over for a learning experience.
Sure.
Walk them on the roof, let them touch the solar panels, leave some invoices on the table so that they could see there's an actual cost. And if nothing else, maybe that will give them the info to question the other people.
Well, hey, Ward, and we did have a case study on a single project we did for a larger university here. But on this one project, we took one car off the road for an entire year at 12,079 miles, say 541 gallons of gasoline, 472 gallons of diesel, saved 5,312 pounds of coal burned. There's just a ton of lists here that it's on one singular project. It's on one singular project, the impact we can have for this. And if this is truly important to you, we can show on a job by job basis, this is actually the difference you're making. And one of my biggest pet peeves with the media and everything else is how people love to tout that print, especially, ink on paper, is not sustainable when it is one of the more sustainable ways of communicating today.
Don't even get me going.
Yes.
These phones are death.
Yeah.
The electric cars that everyone's driving with the batteries, we don't even know what's going to be with that. And then we don't even have to talk about Bitcoin, where the power doesn't turn off and heats up
Sure.
garages in the winter.
Sure.
I people used to say, and I think the print is dead came from Apple and Microsoft way back when the whole computer thing was taking off. But even since then, more paper is being printed in home offices than ever. I can't even get my name on the same line as the one page, so I'm always printing 2 pages.
Want to hear a truly stunning little factoid?
Sure.
And it varies, but Googling a Google search that you and I do has X amount of electricity used to succeed at that search. Use AI and it's 10x to 30x times the amount of energy for the amount of servers it has to tag. And so it has the exponential use, the carbon footprint of AI search over regular search. It's staggering. It like Bitcoin, is it the best use of our energy? And do we really need that for any search? And the industry is going to say yes. Oh, we absolutely have to have that. And so get ready for that energy consumption because it's coming.
I'm actually, I've never heard that before.
Yes.
I'm kind of sitting here, kind of stumped a little.
Yeah.
But the truth is, I need my AI because it's making my life a lot better personally.
That's right. And for many cases, that's, you'll want that, but it's a lot more involved in doing the deeper dive with AI. It's not free,
You know what I would like? I would just like everybody to be honest and truthful. I'd like people that want to make a difference to do their best, but to know.
We've got to cut this short, Warren. I'm sorry. No, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying it because, so at home, right? I don't separate my garbage at home, and everyone's going ooh, ah, and I'll tell you why. Because I know where I am, that it's all going in a landfill.
Yeah.
Okay, fact. So I'm not taking my time right now to do that and live on the second floor and schlep down and do whatever. But when there's something to go in the right box, absolutely. When I had the company, we tried our hardest to do everything.
Yep.
right? But there's no one that's perfect. But you also, I don't think anyone should be criticizing. I think we just have to walk the talk,
Right.
talk the walk. And if you're a company that is promoting sustainability, you got to buy sustainability.
That's right. We're big promoters of fiber-based over polymer and polypropylene, because the plastics industry has been lying to us for decades. I mean, about their recyclable rates and recyclability.
Listen, everybody has to do some. So how do your salespeople react with the customers, or are they up to date on knowledge and they have good communication, or are you going in to do more of the communication?
We lean on John because of his knowledge in the sustainability and everything, but all of our reps know more about it than the average sales rep who isn't in a sustainable printing company. And we've all run into the same issues where you think you got this great opportunity with this company that's touting sustainability and wanting to be more sustainable, and they just get let down on the big RFQ that they got. And they said, well, when they asked, well, what happened here? And they said, well, we can't afford to print this job sustainably. Like,
you guys do RFQs? What are you, crazy? I can't believe we still let people give out RFQs and RF this and RF that, because really it's just wasting time and energy. More energy wasted. Human energy is wasted.
yes.
Right? And the stuff they want to know is just it's unbelievable. The worst part about the RFQs is at the end there's a fine line that says any information you give us remains our property.
To put a summary in there, Warren, it's they're feeling the same pain that alludes to the post that you put up, which we appreciate, because it's a very confusing thing to come across when you think you're doing the right thing and you get to the finish line and apparently it's not important anymore.
It's frustrating, and it could be debilitating, because you just sit there after and shake your head, because everything, like I remember, you put your whole heart and soul into it. Everyone's involved, and it's just the flip of a switch. You're done.
Warren, you mentioned calling clients out, just calling them out. I'll call out three: the St. Louis Art Museum, the St. Louis Zoo, Washington University of St. Louis. Those are three clients that actually walk the walk. They actually,
cool.
Yes. So I can't go the other way.
You tricked me there. You tricked me.
Yes. But those are three that absolutely engage us at an environmental level with questions. I'll even throw in Enterprise Rent-A-Car, who also is really deeply concerned about their own behavior and how they're relating to the environment. So that's a B2B that really cares. So there are great stories out there.
Oh, listen, the ones that care should be called out for that reason as well, right? I'm just so tired of greenwashing, whitewashing, call it whatever you want, where people are just not authentic.
Yes.
Right.
We need to have more, I don't know if authenticity is a word, I think. I'll check it after.
Yeah.
But where people really are putting it in front of them. I watch like I'll go back to FSC. FSC doesn't even care if your job's laminated after. They just want the money and follow the flow. And there's no messaging after that. Right. You've got to tell your clients, if you want to laminate, why you laminating.
Right.
If you really are about the ground, you are not laminating.
Very true.
Exactly.
Right. It's a problem, but it's, So have you ever thought about maybe like every month having a menu of your savings that's public, that's out there in sustainability savings or power savings?
You're hitting the nerve, Warren, because it's something we've been working hard at, and it's just hard getting all the resources together to communicate it. But yes, that is the goal of ours. We really, really want to actually start shouting from the rooftops on how we do things differently here and how you are making a difference when you, not just with advertisers, but with any sustainable, provider. Like it needs to be known. And if it is such an important thing to be followed, then we need to do a better job of educating. But again, you got the media saying print is dead and printing's not sustainable and everything else. So the message is wrong from the top.
For everybody listening, we all know you don't listen to the media anymore for anything, because it's not anything but person's opinion that's sitting there that's probably an idiot for repeating what they repeat. right? I don't watch the news anymore. I won't tell you what I watch, but it's certainly not the news. I watch stuff that's upbeat, no repeats, everybody's happy, nobody fights, but use your own imagination. But if you came up with if you came up with that monthly menu, right? What you do with that after is you give it to your client and you say, hey, why don't you ask the other people that I'm competing with to present you with their numbers?
It is haunting. It is haunting to a competitor when you have a measured footprint and they aren't in the zip code of any benchmarking. So that's the wonderful thing about these processes with SGP is it forces you to benchmark your environmental footprint. And it scares the hell out of your competitor because they're bragging about their FSC logo. You know, they're not even meeting the lowest bar.
The win credits.
Yeah, exactly. Participation trophy. Hey, yay! You showed up.
So let me give you this opportunity to call out 3 non-sustainable competitors. Let's put the pressure on them for an equal playing field. You don't have to. I'm just making trouble.
Not doing that. We got the utmost respect for our competition, but it's you got to wonder what.
You sound really nice when you say that, but it's not possible to respect the people that don't play at the same field.
Well, you got to wonder what the conversation looks like when are they all laughing in a room, being like, yeah, they get all that sustainability stuff, and they're not getting the business. So
yeah, but their bottom line profit should only be what yours is because of sustainability.
Yeah.
Got to just change the narrative, right? But,
sure.
No, I just wish everybody in our business would jump on the bandwagon, at least row in the same direction.
Right.
Just row. And at least if you could tell your clients, this is the stuff you're working on, it's a work in progress. I'm okay with that because not every company has the human or financial resources to do everything so fast.
Yes.
Right. And then at least it's the ones that do really nothing and then bullshit everybody with nonsense.
Yes, sir.
That's what kills me because I think today in our business, you guys, the good are good, but we're fighting the bad ones. We're fighting the ones that give away the pricing. Forget sustainability. We're fighting the ones that don't even know what their costs are and competing with their competitor next door based on just a price given with no idea if they're making money or losing.
To your point, basically our industry does not do a good job about all of the wonderful attributes that we do possess. We do a horrible job. We have a bullseye on our back and we're not doing anything in defense of that. So when a competitor says, oh, that's a little overbaked, they shouldn't really be, they should focus on other quality, whatever price points, whatever they deem more important than sustainability. We've been at it 22 years, and the investment that Alex's father has greenlit everything we've suggested. We come to him with good sound reasoning. He's greenlit it. The ROI long haul has been wonderful. I mean, incredible. It's a front-loaded cost that people will not put up with. But 7-8 years down the road, your operating costs drop. The energy we're using against a competitor's energy footprint is a great savings to the bottom line each year.
And a great savings of the planet.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So that the press we were speaking, the LED UV 10 color, full size 10 color, the curing unit of that over.
Sorry, who's the manufacturer? You didn't say.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Well, that's 1/10 the energy footprint.
But who's the manufacturer of the press?
RMGT out of Japan, and
love RMGT. Did you go to the factory?
Alex did.
I did.
How amazing! So at the factory, they had me stand at the red line and go to the green line. I got fired 3 times.
No, it's hard not to cross over in the robotics and everything that they've got. It's so impressive. So cool.
Cool. Yeah, great company, great press. Oh, excellent. Sorry, you were saying so you outdo them on the consumption power savings of your competitor.
Well, you can harvest the environmental attributes of that machine. I could put you to sleep with a dozen unbelievable attributes coming off day in, day out operational savings not only in carbon, emission free, ozone free, VOC free. Not only that, you're saving 1,000 pounds of ink a year, and ink is, there's 40 grand. I mean, this is so. I mean,
make ready sheets on if you're running
yes,
paper or plastic.
Crazy.
And plastic at $1 or $2 a sheet.
It's insane how that over a 40-inch 6-color with arc lamp curing. This one generously, it's over a third the efficiency of that machine. So the numbers that Alex cited earlier were comparing to a 40-inch 6-color arc lamp UV. The savings is insane. We could give you a lot of metrics on that.
Yeah, don't though, because I don't follow all that stuff. But no, listen, I used to have a 56-inch raised UV press 400 deck dryers, conventional.
Sure.
Like the power my hydro bill every month, you could choke a horse on it. And then we ended up going straight UV just because of all the changeovers, the cost, and then there was a whole environmental aspect of the whole thing. And the UV inks actually were better. UV inks today are better than they ever were.
No longer need aqueous coating. You don't need aqueous coating. The UV inks are stronger than it.
No more powder in the shop.
No more powder. And the aqueous that Alex is mentioning, that's a 30% VOC hit when you just applying a useless material and you're adding 30% VOC to the job.
Well, when you had the coating and everybody was, you got to coat because you got to go to the next station. With UV and HUV especially, you just run your 4 colors and zap and you're ready to go anyways.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
And things have come really a long way, right?
Yes, sir.
It's wow. Okay, so we're going to come to the end. So just so we could stick to the point, because there's so many other things I want to ask you, but we could do it another time. Anything you want to add, last words you want to get out, anything you want your customers to hear when you send them a copy of this video?
Well, we would only encourage them to reach out to us to figure out how much more sustainable they could be with their printed communications. And, John's offered many times to do walkthroughs of the shops to give them ideas on how they could become more sustainable. That would be completely unrelated to print. So we're here to help our customers or any business that is looking to be more sustainable and more efficient in their operation. So, whether we get the business or not, we're here to help every company improve.
Well, the truth is, to those customers that you're speaking to, if you don't do it now, you're going to wake up shortly and you're going to get hit in the face with it anyways, because those other printers, they're going to be forced to do it. And then you're going to watch their prices jump up probably even more because it'll cost more and be harder to do and put in place, because these fellows have been doing it forever, half my life, maybe a little more or a little less. But there's always the bottom line is to everybody, there's no secrets anymore and there's no surprises. It is what it is, and you have to do what you have to do if you're going to walk the talk and talk the walk. It's that simple.
My final 2 cents would be what I tell my kids. Carbon is cash. Fold it in half and put it back in your wallet. It is useless added waste of money. So when you are condensing your carbon footprint, you are spending less in input costs. It's basic.
Math is math, right?
That's right.
Numbers don't lie as much as we'd like them to.
4 out of 3 Americans are bad at math. You knew that, didn't you? 4 out of 3.
Oh, I thought it was higher than that. Hey, as a Canadian, I get to make all the jokes I want, right?
That's right.
You guys beat us up pretty good too sometimes, right? So it's okay. So I would say to the printers that are listening, if you're sustainable, great. If you're not, get it together. Feel good to actually. How about if I say this? Is it okay if a printer calls you if they want to know something about sustainability to get on the wagon?
Yeah, so that's part of the SGP mantra, is we have to share with our most brutal competitor everything we know. And that's a fact. It's stakeholder being the competitor, the member of the community, the vendor, and the client. So we have to share what we know, which is kind of cool.
You know what? When I had my shop and we were doing everything we were doing, and I would bring in competitors, people in my place would say to me, why are you doing that? I go, because I'm not afraid. I said, they could see everything. Going and doing it's a whole other ballgame.
Absolutely.
and most won't even go near it or even attempt it. So it's cool. So great. So yeah. So if you're a printer, you could reach out to Advertisers Printing. You could speak to John or Alex. They'll be happy to fill you in. It's their goal to really get the whole industry on the same platform. By the way, if we're on the same platform, probably means better profit for everybody. And I'm not talking about gouging or anything, but we just want to be paid for the money we invest. Same way our customers want to earn back money in their business for what they've spent. So business is business. There's no secrets to any of that. To any of you that are not doing sustainability or involved in it or believe in it, just close your doors because we're coming after you. How's that for an end? No, just get your shit together. And the world needs you, actually. Your kids need you to pick it up a little. No plastic water. And if you're going to use plastic water bottles, squish them down when you're finished so they take up less space. I'll tell you what they think gave me one of these a few years ago. No more plastic bottles around me. I take that everywhere I go.
Good for you.
So it's great. Gentlemen, truly grateful and thank you for reaching out, for wanting to come on and spread the message. It's most grateful. To everybody else, keep listening. I hope you're listening. Keep listening. If you have any ideas, if you want to talk, if you have anyone who you think wants to be on the podcast, reach out, let me know. Otherwise, Warren Werbitt, I love print for what they think.
Thanks, Warren. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Warren.